Hi, my name is Skylar Ramirez, Master Trainer with YogaFit Training Systems. Welcome to our one-day training yoga props. This is about a half-hour class using the wall as our yoga prop. Let's get started. Let's begin in mountain pose, standing with our backs by the wall. We might be able to press the shoulders back, maybe even walk the feet just a little bit away from the wall. And we could always just sort of tuck and press the tailbone back. Even bring the hips a little bit side to side. Just taking a moment to give the body some sensations of support in the low back. So often when we're standing away from the wall or seated in a chair, the body might be processing sensations in the lower sitting bones or even in the lower groin region. But now we're really just encouraging a little more sensation through the bundles of nerves in the sacrum region. So again, you can take it side to side a little bit and maybe even pull away, tuck under a little bit like cat pose, and then press back a little bit like cow pose. Rock a little bit side to side into the SI joints. Supported mountain by the wall. Notice the breath as the body is going through this little orientation phase, grounding energy, using this time to let go of any judgment, any expectation, any competition, breathing, feeling, listening to the body. Hold it here or begin to inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Maybe press the backs of the hands to the wall and then exhale, slowly slide them down. Just sort of centering the energy in the arms in this single plane of movement. Inhale, sweeping up. And then exhale, slowly sliding the arms down, cactus arms, kind of like a lat pull down movement. Big inhale. Exhale, bending the elbows. If we're noticing any discomfort at all in the shoulders, the neck, any part of the middle spine, even down to the hips, bend the elbows a little deeper, shortening the lever that might take some tension out of the jaw, out of the spine, out of the back, out of the neck. Let's do one more. Big inhale. Exhale, bringing it down. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, swan diving, bringing our hips just a little bit away from the wall so we can flip the tailbone, clearing the wall, and then slowly lowering the belly towards the thighs. We might even deeply bend the knees to push the lower abdominal and gut region onto the thighs. Exhale from the throat. Big sighs of relief. From wherever we are, let's slowly walk the hands up, coming up into standing. So from wherever you are, let's take our time to come down to the mat, to come from standing to seated on the floor. We hinge from the hips, taking one foot back, lowering a knee, and then the other. Coming around, you'll notice I have two mats, so I'm going to try to position myself within a good line of sight for instructional reasons. Let's move towards the wall, and maybe we have just the toes grazing against a baseboard, or maybe eventually we put our feet up on the wall. From wherever we are, either feet down or feet up, and if we're choosing the feet up on the wall, grounding through the soles of the feet, we are in supine chair pose. So for anyone who's ever said that they don't like chair pose, this is chair, taking it out of the traditional plane of movement and perhaps encouraging the body to embrace the structural alignment of chair pose without the weight bearing, without all of the intense effort that can go into that posture. From here, we can inhale, bringing the arms up, And then exhale, sweep them down and around. Inhale, bringing them up. Similar to a chair flow, exhale, bringing them around. And just opening up through the sides of the waist, through the sides of the ribs. If you don't have a wall right now, feet could be up on the seat of a chair. One more big flow with the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, relax the hands down beside you, palms down to the floor. Taking a big breath in. As we exhale, let's draw one knee in towards the chest. And then inhale, relax. Exhale, other knee in. Inhale, relax. Continuing to alternate one breath, one movement. Just gently warming up the hip joints without a lot of weight bearing involved here. We're also stretching the muscles and compressing against the lymph nodes. Exhale. It can be a heavy, exaggerated exhale if that feels right for your body. In fact, the more stressed out we might feel, or maybe we suspect the body is holding a little stress, then maybe the more exaggerated the breath. Just sighs of relief. Let's do one more on each side, centering this movement for the body, eventually grounding both feet up into the wall. Let's see that we have the toes a little higher than the knees, maybe even the ankles are a little higher than the knees, feeling as if the tailbone is comfortable. From here, let's let the knees sway, maybe even peeling up one hip as we sway. You can push a little bit into the wall with the feet. Again, accentuating some of those grounding sensations with the feet. Evening this out for the body on left and right. Let's bring it to center. Pressing the palms down as we inhale. Let's push into our feet. Lifting the hips into bridge with the wall. Exhale, lowering the hips. Couple more like this. Inhale, nice big lift. Imagine a yoga block between the knees. And then exhale to lower. If you'd like to try a flowing bridge with this, exhale, hands come down, hips come down, arms go overhead. So we inhale, palms down, shoulder blades neutral, lifting the hips, and then exhale, lower the hips, arms overhead, stretch from the armpits. Let's do a few more. Inhale, exhale, inhaling through the nose or the mouth. Exhaling from the nose or the mouth, maybe just for the next few postures for this short class. Maybe letting go of any attachment to what is the perfect breath, what is the perfect pose, what is the perfect thought or the perfect place for the mind to be in. Instead, just following bits of instruction from the body, suggestions from me. Ultimately, just listening to the body. One more, lifting and lowering the hips. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest. Again, maybe thighs pressing against the belly. Maybe opening the knees wide, shaking out the knees, rolling out the ankles. Let's relax the heels to the wall, point or flex the feet, and then just take the arms up overhead. Let's add in just a little bit of abdominal work. Press the right foot into the wall, and as you exhale, rising up, knee to chest. Inhale, relax. Exhale, rising up. Inhale, open. Exhale, contract. Maybe following the breath, or maybe asking the breath to follow the body. Sometimes the breath is kind of dragging if we've been feeling tired or low on energy. So maybe we let the breath become encouraged by the physical movement. Adding in a little twist here. Bicycle. Exhale. Just a couple more. Couple more on each side. When you're ready, let's walk the knees down. Let the knees sway a little bit. Take your sweet time. Roll over onto one side. Let's slowly press up. Coming around into all fours position for the body. Our toes are just touching back by the wall. You can have the toes tucked under, maybe push your heels onto the wall or come away from the wall. So just notice where the feet feel comfortable. Let's walk the hands in front of the body. We might keep the hips lifted. Puppy dog expression. You could even do a little bit of wag the tail here, sway of the hip, or integrate a little bit of a contraction on the side body. If the body is craving a little more conservative energy, come down, relax your head. From wherever we are, let's take our time shifting forward. Walking the feet just maybe 2 or 3 inches away from the wall. Toes are tucked under. Let's walk the hands in front of us a little bit, pressing the hips back. Inhaling forward, kneeling plank. Option to lift the knees, pushing back into the heels in this plank expression. Dropping the knees, pressing back. Reset the hips. Grounding low, inhaling forward, hold, lift the knees, push the heels back into the wall. So oftentimes when we're flowing into plank, the body perhaps has a template in it or it's programmed in a specific sequence for us to shift forward and then to lower down and then to lift. So we're just changing the sequence up a little bit, surprising the nervous system by pressing back into the heels. Inhale, shifting forward. Hatha, pressing back, lifting up, pushing down. Dropping the knees, maybe just one more of these. If you'd like to take this into a down dog, let's tuck the tailbone under, cradling the organs as we move forward, lifting the hips, pressing back, downward facing dog. Shake the head, yes. Turn it left and right. Breathe from the throat. As we inhale, maybe flare out your nostrils here. Really draw the breath in. It is a beautiful day. As we shake our head left and right, ears touch to the insides of the arms. That's how we know that the neck isn't hyperextending or hyperflexing. From here, we can pedal through the soles of the feet. Shifting forward, little half series. Inhaling forward, option to lower the knees. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, pulling up through the heart. Maybe pushing back through the heels to lift the thighs. And then exhale, coming up and back. Downward facing dog. Option to flow through that a couple more times. Inhaling forward. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, pulling up through the heart. Maybe even up dog. Maybe coming onto the toes, pushing back, lifting the thighs, and then lifting the hips and pressing back. Just one more if it feels right for you. This can be done from kneeling. Inhaling forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhaling, peeling up. Exhaling, pressing back. Let's find the breath here. From wherever you are, look between the hands. Whether you're in down dog or kneeling position, let's shift forward a little bit. Bringing the left leg up, clearing the wall. Easy does it. Pressing the shin to the wall, maybe bringing the leg up a little higher. We can use our hands to push back, opening up the front of the hip. Breathe it out. Cranial sacral connection. If there's any tension in the hip or the pelvis, anywhere in the spine at all, relax the jaw. And just notice the potential for change in the body when we release that tension from the jaw. When we begin to soften the energy that flows from the jaw directly into the brain, cranial nerves. One more inhale. When you're ready, exhale, round the spine. Bring that knee forward. And again, this could be done from kneeling, or this could be done from a down dog. So either one, take your time. Contracting in, inhale, press back. Exhale, contract in. It's either sunbird or three-legged dog. From wherever we are, let's lower both feet or both knees. And again, it's either child's pose or downward facing dog. Noticing what feels right for the body. When we're ready, let's shift forward, bringing our right foot up, our shin onto the wall. The height of the leg is not so much relevant to the effectiveness of the pose. Sometimes the bigger pose is not the better pose. Instead, just noticing how we can meet the body today. And sometimes this stretch has nothing to do with the physical body. It's all about opening up the hips. Muladhara, chakra 1. Can we release some fear? Can we open up ourselves in a courageous way? Relax the jaw. Cranial sacral connection again. You could even try lion's breath here. Change it up a little bit. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tongue out. Holding it here, big inhale. When it feels right for you, pulling that leg in, contracting the belly. We could keep that flow. And again, if you want to do this from three-legged dog, shin to the wall, exhale, bring it in. Maybe just 2 or 3 more. Last one. Let's lower both feet, both knees, resetting the hips, down dog or child's pose. If we feel like we need a half series, which is half of a sun salutation, inhaling forward. Exhale, option to press back, lower down. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, pressing back, down dog or child's pose. From wherever we are, let's step our right foot forward. Right foot forward. Turning the left heel in, pressing the outer blade of the foot to the wall. Reverse windmill, rising up. Depending on the length of our stance, we might be able to stretch the arms out all together or just kind of lean back a little bit, stacking the shoulders over the hips. You know, in body psychology, whenever we're reading the body language, they say you can tell a lot about a person by their warrior 2. If they're reaching forward too much, maybe too much forward thinking, too much future thinking. And if somebody's leaning back, possibly just kind of stuck in the past or thinking about too many past events. So anatomically, based on energetic concepts, we're centering the shoulders over the hips, grounding us psychologically, emotionally, energetically in the present moment. Atta, now. Let's find the breath. Keeping the shoulders centered. It's okay to lean back into the past a little bit. It's okay to reach towards the future. It's staying present. Atta. When you're ready, Slowly straightening out that right leg. Take the tailbone back. Let's reach out over the knee. Lowering our hand down for triangle pose. Trikonasana, three-angled pose. Maybe lowering our hand to the low back. Option to practice Uddiyana Bandha here, looking down at the foot. Press down into the inner blades of the feet and press back into the left outer edge of that left foot. Mula Bandha, pull the muscles up in the pelvis, the same muscles you use to stop urination. Pull up, chin down, exhale all the way. Uddiyana Bandha, in and up. Big rotation, swiveling, carrying the organs with us. Option to look up, releasing the tension in the belly. If you get a little hot flash here, you're doing it right. Inhale, bringing the arm up and overhead. When you're ready, bending the front knee, rising up, warrior two, revisiting warrior two. Exhale, windmilling down towards the ground, lifting and pivoting through that back foot. Maybe shifting forward and then taking that leg straight back into the wall. Lowering the leg, maybe a little lower than where the foot originally landed. We might experiment with bringing the right hand to the shin. This is an extension of our spinal balance pose. Maybe bringing both hands up, maybe propping up the spine. Even hands to the thigh. Continuing to press back into the heel. Center of gravity shifting forward. Moving into warrior three. Woo! Exhale, bringing it down. Bringing the weight into our right hand. Opening up the heel. Reaching up into half moon. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, invoking the feminine elements of energy. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly bringing it down. Pivot through that back foot. Option to walk the hands back, maybe even walk that foot down. Let's slowly lower down to standing. Shake out the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, big breath in. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Let's gather the breath a couple more times. One more inhale. Bringing it to the wall again. Just going to change positions for the sake of view. Hinging from the hips. Stepping our feet back, either child's pose or downward facing dog. From child's pose to down dog, when you're ready, this time, lifting our left leg and lunging it forward. If you already did the left leg, do the other leg. Rotating that back heel in, reverse windmill, rising up, opening up, warrior two. Pressing into the outer blade of that right foot. And again, we might have wide enough of a stride. We might be coming down low enough, even the limbs in a specific proportion to stretch both arms out. But we might want to bend that back arm as an alternative. Noticing where are we? Maybe even close the eyes and feel. Do we feel ourselves leaning back? Do we feel the body moving forward? Do we feel centered? And then apart from what we feel, what do we see? What is the body saying? Are we leaning forward? Are we reaching back? Are we stacked? Shoulders, ribs, hips, pelvis bones. From here, straightening out that left leg, pressing the tailbone back, reaching our armpit out over the knee, and then lowering our hand down. It could go up, by the thigh, supported with an elbow. You could even bring the elbow or the arm to the inside of the leg, pressing the leg to the arm to the leg, encouraging a little more trunk rotation in the body. No matter where you are in this, there is an advanced version. It's lifting the edges of the mouth in every yoga class. Smile, same face, all poses. Joy, joy. One of the primary healing elements in our yoga practice. Can this be done with joy? If you'd like to practice Uddiyana Bandha, let's look down at our left foot. Push down into the inner blades of the feet. Press back into the outer blade of the right foot. Mula Bandha. Pull the muscles up in the pelvis. Chin in. Exhale all the way. Uddiyana Bandha or act surprised. 1, 2, 3. Navel in and up. Little more trunk rotation. Hold the pose. Release the contraction in the belly. Continuing to breathe into the upper right lung. Again, if you get a little hot flash, that's what we're looking for. Tapas, tapas. Ambition, perseverance, the fire strengthening in the body, the catalyst for change. Inhale. When you're ready, let's bend that front knee, rising up. Warrior 2. Exhale, windmilling down. Lift and pivot the back foot. Keeping that deep bend, that deep lunge to begin. And then shifting forward, pressing straight back into the right leg. And at first, some of us might have the leg really high. We're going to lower it down so that maybe the heel is at the height of the hip, or even lower for the sake of reducing any possible excessive tension in the SI joint, lumbar spine, and sciatic nerve. So if your doctor has ever said to you, take care of L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or anything with an S, or sciatic nerve, lower that foot down. You can even bend both knees here. Option to take the left hand to the shin, or even up to the thigh. And then maybe both hands away from the floor, pressing back into the wall. Center of gravity continues to shift forward. Holding it here, let's bring the shoulders up to the height of the hips or higher. Head in line with the spine. So we're eliminating an inversion here. And then moving this into Warrior 3. Big breath. When you start to get hot, you can preserve it, lips closed, ujjayi. Or if it feels overheated, exhale. Exhale, lower the hands. Let's rotate that back heel in, walking our left hand in alignment with the left foot, or maybe even inside that left foot if it feels more comfortable. Opening up, rotating through the trunk of the body into our Ardha Chandrasana. We could always keep that back leg with the foot a little lower than the hip. Again, it'll prevent some excess compression in the outer hip, maybe if we're dealing with piriformis syndrome or a tight IT band. Or you could walk the foot up, inch it up the wall. This is essentially creating more of an abduction through that hip joint. No matter where we are, we might look down, very grounding. We might look ahead or we might look up. Might. Breathing mostly into the upper right lung. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly bring it down. Rotate through the hips, square the hips. Maybe walk the foot down a little bit. Just reposition the feet slightly. Little tiny movements. Moving really slow. No one ever said, I moved so slow and with such awareness that I got hurt in that yoga class. I've never heard that, never ever. From wherever we are, let's lower that back foot in and down. Shake out the knees. When you're ready, reverse swan dive. Exhale, gathering the breath a few more times. Inhale, reaching up. One more big breath in. And then exhale, draw it in. Let's relax the shoulders. All right, so let's move into some big inversions by the wall. We have a nice safe way to invert by facing the wall. And maybe we take the hands out so that the fingertips are at the height of the shoulders, or the wrists can be down in line with the ribs. From here, we would walk the feet back, pushing the hips back, maybe open a little bit like cow pose. Feet can be at hips width, they can be a little wider, they can even be together. This is our expression of a downward facing dog without having to be inverted. As an alternative, we could slowly walk down the wall so that we slowly begin to create that sensation of an inversion in the body. Easy does it. Keep breathing easy here. Exhale. Remember, you have all the power here in this pose. You get to choose how to feel in the pose. So if you start to feel lightheaded, walk the hands up the wall. If we feel the spine of the body wants to release a little more, walk the hands down a little more. Reminding ourselves, I get to choose how I feel. Shake the head, yes. Affirm that. When it feels right for you, slowly walk the hands up. Let's walk towards the wall. All right. So that's down dog with a really reinforced Hasta Bandha hand lock into the wall. Let's try that downward facing dog, crawling the feet up on the wall. So no matter where you are, safety first. Let's be sure that we're in a place where we feel like we're gonna be secure, no skid mat, no socks on, no socks. Hinging from the hips. We might start taking one foot back at a time, maybe even lower the knees down, and see that the toes are at least 2 or 3 inches away from the wall. This way we'll be able to clear the wall. When we tuck the toes under, we'll be able to press back through the heels. From here, tucking the tailbone under, lifting, cradling the organs, and then when the heels touch, then we add in that neutral lumbar spine. Hold it here or take one foot into the wall and then maybe the other. We could always deeply bend the knees or walk the feet up. Option to take the feet up higher or take one leg away. 3-legged dog. Switch it out at your leisure. Easy does it. When you're ready, slowly walk the feet down. Drawing the knees down towards the floor. Let's press the hips back. And of course, we can always do that again. We can always stay a little longer. If we're just looking for a short, invigorating practice, we don't always have to stay in that inversion a long time to get some fantastic healing elements. When you're ready, slowly shifting forward. Lifting through the knees, pressing back. Let's walk our feet forward. Reverse swan dive. And then exhale, hands to the heart. All right, so I'm just gonna turn this one big light off. There we go, okay. So let's look at a standing forward fold using the wall. And this forward fold can actually help us to create a little more of a stretch in the Achilles tendon region. And then we have another forward fold that creates a little more traction in the low back. So for this first one, which I consider is the safer one, we come to standing on our mat, and we're gonna have our feet feet maybe about 6 inches away from the wall. From here, flip the hips, tailbone back. As we walk our hands down, let's take our yoga mat and book it in towards the feet. Anyone who's ever hung wallpaper before, it's that technique, booking. Now, the more we book the mat, the more we're going to encourage dorsiflexion in the foot. So the more it's going to pull the ankle. This would be the back of your ankle. This is the sole of the foot. So from wherever we are, if we want to, we can lift one toe at a time, making sure that we're bringing our prop underneath the ball of the foot. Why? Because the sciatic nerve that begins in the low back and runs through the hip, down, front of the leg, back of the leg, all the way connects to the nerves in the ball of the foot. So when we're manipulating energy in the body by pressing into the ball of the foot, in some way we're creating this dialogue from the foundation of the feet all the way up to the foundation of Muladhara and Mulabandha. So from here we can exhale, hang the head, and every once in a while you'll see me turning my head or looking up. This is only for the sake of being able to project my voice. For safety reasons, and according to our safety standards, we keep the head neutral, so it's right here. Relax the head and the neck. Maybe take the feet out a little wider. And as we open the legs, we're making space for the belly and the ribs. This can be a straddle, heels out, toes in. Long exhales. Traditionally, we do long sinking breaths here. If you want to change it up today, try an expanding breath in your upper back and feel the breath spread out. Inhale. And then exhale. It'll feel a little bit like cat in the upper back. Big inhale. And then exhale. One or two more. Big inhale. Slow exhale. One more. To safely come out of this pose, we may want to inch the feet in. Easy does it. Walk the hands up nice and slow. Bringing the hips away from the wall. Maybe press the hips back. It's a conservative chair, holding it here. Little bit of work, pressing back. Expanding breath. Maybe Uddiyana Bandha again, chin down, pelvic floor engaged. Exhale all the way. Belly in and up. Release. Slowly release out of that chest expansion wheel prep. All right, so let's look at our second option for a standing forward fold. I'd like for you to watch me one time first, then I'll cue it again. And what this can help us to do is to be able to have a visual model to match the spoken word. And oftentimes this just helps a little more with muscle memory and to safely enter and exit the pose. So for this particular posture, getting ready, make sure my pants are super stretchy for this pose. This one is a little bigger of an inversion and a stretch for the body. So from wherever you are, we're taking the hands and we're starting again with the fingertips, maybe just as high as the armpits or the shoulders. Let's step the feet back and we're gonna stop when the ears are between the forearms. So just stopping here. Injuries in yoga can happen from getting into poses too quickly, getting out of poses too quickly. It can be shocking to the energy in the nervous system. It's like turning a light off and on. Too much energy, not enough energy. It can shock the nervous system. So we're going to move really slow with this. The body has plenty of time to adapt. When we're ready, maybe bending the elbows, moving forward, taking the crown of the head into the wall. And then pressing into the wall. We might just kind of let the crown of the head press a little bit. Notice the sensation. So right now this is a little primer for the neck and the head to communicate to the rest of the body if it's comfortable with this pressure. If it feels okay, you can always come in a little closer, maybe chin in towards the chest. Maybe walking the hands down. Feet can be at any width. I'm keeping my feet in close. Energetically, feet in close to the midline can create a little more sense of support or encouragement to the body, Mula Bandha. From wherever we are, maybe back of the head to the wall, maybe walking the feet even closer, bending the knees, maybe shoulder blades walk down. Right now my knees are bent, but if you look at my low back, when I straighten the legs, it's going to lift more of my spine up towards the wall. You could also attempt to counter that pressure by pushing into your hands. Notice that I'm able to talk, right? So I'm not bearing down. I do have the chin in towards the chest, Jala Nara Bandha, but I'm not cutting off the throat at all in any way. So you can hold it here as long as you want. Now getting out of the pose is crucial as well. So we just closed all the energy in the body. So basically this is lights out. And this is a posture we use to reduce vata or anxious air energy. This is how to let your brain roll out with all your thoughts. To safely come out, we start to push away from the wall. Walk the feet back. Walk the hands up onto the wall. Make sure your head can clear the wall. Slowly walk the hands up. Now, if you know that your body is prone to that kind of woo-woo effect, move really, really slow. Slowly coming up. Maybe just ground into the wall a little bit. And then when you're ready, you come around and ground that energy in the hips. Okay, so I'm going to cue that again. One more time. So let's start with hands to the wall. Fingertips are lower than the shoulders, maybe even in line with your armpit. Start walking the feet away. Let your head hang loose between the arms. Shake the head, yes. Shake it left and right. Ears might be touching near the biceps. This is an expression of a down dog by the wall. We could hold it here, you could walk it down, or come forward, crown of the head into the wall, stepping in towards that support. Maybe chin to the chest. Maybe walking the hands down. By all means, we could have yoga blocks here. You could have even one of those step benches here. Walking the feet in. Inching the shoulders down, back of the head, sliding down. Shift forward into the center of gravity. Tops of shoulder blades might touch. And then maybe walk the feet in, bend the knees deep. Now if we're feeling compressed, if we start to feel claustrophobic here, because it is a closing, mudya, contracting energy, you can always open up and then belly between the thighs. Then walk the shoulders down. At any time, straightening out the legs, middle back, low back, moving closer to the wall. Just take your time, hang out there, breathe easy. Breathing easy, big exhales. Maybe just a couple more big exhales there. Stay as long as you want, as long as you want. When you feel ready, when your body is ready, take your time. Slowly begin to push down into the floor. Shift the weight back into your heels. Bend the knees. Start walking the hands up just a little bit. We want to give it at least 5 to 10 breaths to come up. So we're energetically, we're raising up the dimmer switch. We're just opening the light in the body. It's an awakening expression for us energetically. Slowly coming up. Make sure your head can clear that wall. And then walk the hands up. We might want to stay where we are. Push the hips back for a minute. Pada Bandha, Hasta Bandha, all energies locked in the body. If you want, slowly come around. Easy does it. All right. So I have one more standing stretch for us to look at while we're here in our wall class. And this is something that is often broken down and examined in our YogaFit training systems level 4 training. It's called flip the dog. It's going from down dog into wheel pose. I personally find this pose so incredibly rewarding and so incredibly accessible when we use it with the wall. So let's look at the mechanics of it. So here I am, downward facing dog. If I'm gonna open the right side of my body, first thing I'm doing is feet are close together, bent knees, cow pose. Notice if your tailbone habitually tucks like this. That's a protection mechanism. That's the body saying, I'm scared, or I'm a little apprehensive about this. I'm protecting myself. So body language, release the hips back, courageous, fearless energy. Take your right foot and bring it just on the outside of your left ankle. Take the left hand, rotate the wrist out like you're opening up or turning a doorknob. We're going to continue to do this movement. So I'm taking my right hand away, flattening the right foot, lifting the left leg, and then rotating open. To come out of it, lifting the right foot, rotating the fingertips up, pivot on the toes, and we're back at center. If you'd like to see it one more time, I'm going to do it in the other plane of motion, right? So if I'm going to open the left side of my body to flip, I'm taking my left foot, staying high on the ball of the foot, taking it to the outside of the right heel. I'm taking my right hand, turn it to the right. The hands have to move to prevent excessive strain in the rotator cuff. I know there are some styles of yoga that don't move the hands, but for the sake of safety and for this particular training in this style of yoga with SPA, 7 Principles of Alignment, we are rotating. So from here, I'm turning my right palm out, so my hands look like this. And then as I leave the wall with my left hand, I'm coming up onto my other toe, rotating my right palm down, and then I am in my wheel. Big inhale. You can lift the heels if that feels better. So come out of it, lifting the left leg, rotate the right palm up, bring it to center, lift that back heel, and release the hips. Press back. All right, so take your time and try it. Go ahead and try it on both sides. The pose becomes, in my opinion, a little more accessible when you're, number one, closer to the wall, and when you do the movement, tiny, tiny first. So start with what I like to call an orientation, a dress rehearsal of the pose, so to speak. Start with the tiniest bits of sensation to introduce the body through the range of motion. So you ease into the mechanics of the pose. And usually the smaller movement requires Smaller range of motion requires more recruitment of stabilizing, assisting muscles so that we get this deep core of support, this deep medial engagement. So you can keep practicing, maybe make the movement a little bigger. Maybe step away from the wall. The farther away we are from the wall, the deeper the back bend that this will become. And eventually, in level 4, we do flip, and then if you want, walk it down the wall. Let's give it at least another minute. Easy does it. Absolutely no rush. And take your time, slowly come to neutral. Let's shake it off. Good. When you're ready, let's take our time, hinging from the hips down towards the floor, 1 foot back at a time. Sweep the feet around. Let's come down onto the floor. Let's take this into our original position on the floor, walking the feet up. Maybe even legs up the wall again. If you'd like to do another inversion, bring the feet down. Bring the hips fairly close to the wall. Pushing into our feet. We could have the wall to make shoulder stand and plow more accessible. So when we start with our feet on the floor, sometimes that little initial boost with the hip flexor and transverse abdominis can be a little shocking to recruit that energy. But when we start up, we've already got that energy open. From here, we can lift the hips a little higher, walk the elbows in. And at this point, peel the heels away, maybe one leg away at a time. Holding it here is an option, or prop up the spine, drop the hips back, and then take the feet over your head. Halasana, plow. Notice again, I'm able to talk freely. You can bend the knees in towards the head. Continuing to breathe easy. Breathe into the low back. We often think of the breath in just this one frontal plane of movement. So where does the breath go when we close off that energy in the abdomen? Breathing into the back of the body to safely come out of the pose. Slowly bringing one leg towards the wall at a time. And maybe releasing the shoulders. We're looking for a little bit of glute work today. We could do our bridge expression again, or maybe try the one-legged bridge. Turning this into a small pulse, come down maybe just 1 inch, and then pulse. Keep that lift in the hip on that extended leg. Maybe just 8 more. You might start to have some sensations of strength building in your hips. Let's lower down, reset, hips down and up a few times. Squeeze the knees in like you have a yoga block. When you're ready, holding other leg up. Still that big drop and lift. We could always just hold it. For the restorative teachers out there, if you have sandbags, maybe sandbag across the hips. Eventually adding in that little pulse. Great music today, right, y'all? This is from YogaFit, After Midnight. Available at www.yogafit.com. When you're ready, both feet down. Reset the hips. Draw the knees in. Let's place our left foot on the wall, right foot on the floor. Walk the right foot under the left leg. Push into that right foot, drawing up that left hip, maybe even taking the left leg over. You can push into the wall, and this can help to reset the hip joint. So sometimes in this twist, without support under the waist, you'll see this slide or this collapse of the hip joint. Push into the wall, and maybe push that hip down and away from your ribs. Breathing easy. When you're ready, slowly bring it to center, untucking that bottom leg. Let's keep our right foot on the wall. Left foot comes down to the floor. Walk the left foot under the right leg. Push into the left foot, adding in that twist towards the left. Walk the right foot over. And again, notice what naturally happens. You get this roll in, right? The lumbar spine is essentially collapsing in towards the floor. So from here, we're taking the leg out, push into the wall, and it will literally, with the self-assist, grab a hold of your hip and your thigh. Starfish hands, hold on, straighten the leg, push the hip down and away. Opening up all the right side of the body, energetically opening the liver. This could be an opportunity to release heat that can be linked to repressed emotion, repressed anger in particular. The visual here would be to inhale blue light, exhale red light from the liver. One more big breath. When you're ready, slowly release using our feet. And then let the hips reset in any natural way. So from here, we could always rest in our own expression of legs up the wall. You could have the feet up. We could get a little closer if we wanted to, so maybe walk the hips and the tailbone in. This is the real workout, just getting closer towards the wall. Opening up the knees, maybe holding here in supine butterfly. If you have yoga blocks close by, blocks under the knees or the thighs. We're just going to hold it here, a few easy breaths. Now from wherever you are, I invite you to stay here a little longer. As we're closing this class, you might just want to stay a little bit longer. Breathing into the belly. There's no rush to exit the pose. Some of you might be rolling into the next master class, depending on your timeline today with your trainer. Just want to thank you all for joining me today. Again, my name is Skyla Ramirez, Master Trainer, YogaFit Training Systems Worldwide. If you'd like to know more about our online trainings, please check us out, www.yogafit.com. We are recognized by Yoga Alliance, International Association of Yoga Therapy. We are partnered with many scholarship and education programs, including the GI Bill and other programs through our military. I wish all of you a beautiful day. Namaste, everyone.